The big three consists of your sun sign, moon sign, and rising sign. Your sun sign is whichever sign the sun was in the moment you were born. The sun stays in each zodiac sign for an entire month. This is the sign that people talk about whenever they ask someone what their zodiac sign is. Unless you were born on a cusp, you do not need to generate your whole birth chart to know what your sun sign is. To know what your sun sign is, just simply look up your date of birth. As a matter of fact, here you go. The sun in astrology represents one's general core characteristics. It's the essence that you emit on a day-to-day basis. So even though you also have other characteristics and influences derived from your other birth chart placements, at the end of the day, a big part of your identity comes from your sun sign. Your moon sign is whichever sign the moon was in the moment you were born. The moon stays in each zodiac sign typically 2 to 2.5 days a month. Now, because of that, it would help if you were to generate your whole birth chart to know what your moon sign is. To pull up your birth chart, you need to enter your exact date of birth, place of birth, and time of birth. The moon in astrology represents our emotional and vulnerable side. Depending on the sign it's in, it shows us how we process our feelings, and it also shows us how we express our concerns and worries, and it also shows what we want and need for emotional comfort. Your rising sign, also known as your ascendant, is nothing of a physical placement like the sun, the moon, or any of the planets. Your rising sign is simply the sign that was rising on the eastern horizon at the time of your birth. One's rising sign will always be located right here in this area of the birth chart. You will never find it anywhere else. The time in which the ascendant changes is unpredictable. Ignore the websites that say it changes every 2 hours. That is not true. So many sources will also say different answers as to how long certain signs will stick around in that area for. That is why I cannot stress enough how important it is to input your correct birth information when generating your chart, especially your time of birth. Moving on. The ascendant in astrology represents the outer personality. It represents our attitude, the way we come off to others, how we view the world around us, and it even helps give influence over our physical appearance. Astrologers often say your rising sign is the most influential of your big three because of those representations. That's why it's also recommended when reading weekly, monthly, and yearly astrology predictions that you check out the ones for your rising sign rather than your sun sign. However, this does not apply to everybody. Everybody is different when it comes to what they're influenced by more in their chart. So just observe and experiment. So there you have it. That is what we call the big three. To conclude this message, it is important to know and to understand that you will definitely not incorporate every single trait of the signs in your big three. It is not expected of you to possess every trait. We are all influenced by many different factors in our chart. So not all Pisces suns will be sensitive, not all Aries moons will be hot-headed, and not all Leo risings will be self-centered. With all of that in mind, let us all light a candle and enjoy the rest of the video. If you were born between August 23rd through September 22nd, congrats, you are a Virgo. Simple keywords in describing Virgos are observant, analytical, methodical, critical, and quite frankly, anal retentive. Just like Gemini, Virgo is also a mutable sign. And once again, mutable signs are signs that are able to act like chameleons and embrace the changes that are happening around them. They are ones of the zodiac to adapt easily to new changes and new surroundings, more so than the rest of the signs. Only difference between the two is that Gemini is of mutable air, which brings about versatility, while Virgo is of mutable earth, which brings about flexibility. Let's start with what they're most well known for, which would be their constant need in wanting to make everything around them be perfect, or at least have things be up to their standards. Virgo is the sign of the Maiden, and the Maiden is oftentimes depicted as being this pure, unscathed being, thus symbolizing perfection. Not to say that Virgos are legitimately depicted as being these innocent little goody two-shoes, because while they are decent people, that is so not the case. This symbolism isn't depicted in a Virgo's actual personality. It's depicted more so in a Virgo's need to have the things that they are working on look its ultimate best. Examples would be when they are renovating their house, when they are cooking an amazing dish, or when they are creating beautiful art. This also goes for when they want to improve on a skill that they feel as though they aren't that good at, and want to keep working at it until they have it just right. But it's not that simple. Sometimes, no matter how long it is that they have been working on something, even if it looks good from another's point of view, they will ultimately think that whatever it is that they are working on is trash, and may decide to just drop it. They are truly their own harsh critics. Virgos are also such homemakers, and that is exactly why I sometimes get mom vibes from them. They are the type of people that want to take care of everything around them, including their close friends and family. They also really want to be the ones to run the show, and they would especially love to take credit for it all. A great example would be Monica Geller from Friends. In this one particular episode, she forced herself to skip a couple nights of sleep in order for her to make her new living space look much nicer than her friend's apartment, in order for the gang to come over to her living quarters, in order for her to play hostess. Yes, they can go that far. Regarding labels, some signs of the zodiac are categorized as being optimistic, some pessimistic. Virgos are considered to be realistic. That's just the way things are type of attitude. And that's a good direction for them to go towards, because being realistic helps them not get their hopes up, and it also helps prepare them for things in hindsight, in order for them to not feel as disappointed or as hurt when things don't go as planned. Now let's talk about when someone has their moon in Virgo. There's no hesitation with their criticism. They have something to say one way or the other, no matter if they are outright blunt or if they are someone that tends to sugarcoat their words in order to not hurt someone's feelings. They aren't brutally honest folks. Their attitude is more so of, I think you would pull that blouse off or those pants off rather than the ones that you just tried on. And then go off about every single detail as to why those clothes suit you better and why the ones that you just tried on don't. They don't do it to be mean. They critique because they feel as though they are helping you out, improving, if you will. A bit of tough love, but you can either take it or leave it. Do not try proving these guys wrong on anything. Once you have done that, you have declared war. And they won't be the ones to wave around the white flag either. They are for sure going to be the ones dominating the discussion, because they are usually backed up by facts. They are very logical people, so it makes sense to them that one shouldn't dive into anything unprepared. And true to their logical nature, despite the fact that they hate being wrong, they also won't be ones to not admit that they aren't sure of something when they don't have enough knowledge to bring to the table during a debate about a particular subject. They will not make themselves look like fools. Now let's talk about when someone has a Virgo rising. Your rising sign is what helps show you your chart ruler. A chart ruler or rulers show us the theme or themes that reoccur most often in our lives. Examples would be reoccurrence in romance, traveling, financial opportunities, career opportunities, etc. Your chart ruler is based on what your rising sign's ruling planet is. So in that case, people who have a Virgo rising have Mercury as their chart ruler, meaning the energies that come from Mercury help play part of a vital role in that person's life. There's more to it than that when it comes to chart rulers, but for now we are keeping it simple. First and foremost, these guys have nervous energy. They get stressed very easily. They get stressed or feel on edge when things don't turn out the way that they hoped for them to, or when their expectations are not met. This is why they feel as though it's best if they were the ones to be in control. They have a tough time trusting the judgment of other people. They feel like things will go better if they were the ones to be planning everything. They'll consider your input on things if they feel like it also sounds good to them, but they'll still be the ones holding on to the reins. They are also ones to get stressed out about their health, and that is something to be discussed in detail for another time. Oh, and how can I forget about the infamous stereotype that comes along with this zodiac sign? The one that is often shown having someone be this obsessive neat freak who needs to have everything around them be clean and organized. They're the type of person that you see on TV who constantly keeps everything neatly scheduled in great detail in a planner of theirs or on a calendar in their phone, where everything is also completely color-coded. I swear to the universe, my mom is a Virgo rising. I keep telling her to find her birth certificate for me so that I can know her time of birth, but no matter if it's been a day, a week, a month, not even kidding, even 5 years, she will keep receipts on hand just in case. She will also have 1,000,001 tabs opened up on her browser, just in case she doesn't lose an important page, when at least 85% of them are not important whatsoever. Love you, Mom. The final thing I will mention about a Virgo rising is their physical appearance. As I've mentioned before in my introduction, one of the things that the ascendant helps give influence in is the way we look. And of course, depending on the individual, this may or may not pertain to them. As a matter of fact, if you don't have a Virgo rising, but have Virgo for either your sun or your moon, some of these physical traits could still apply to you. These distinct physical traits include a very polished and tidy appearance, such as clear skin and well-kept hair, a heart-shaped face with high cheekbones, and a pair of deep-set eyes. And that is it for my video on the big 3 placements for Virgo. I realize that I haven't uploaded anything in quite a while. Basically, in the last month, there's just been distractions and a much more busier schedule than I've anticipated. But when you have goals that you want to accomplish, you keep going for it. And that's what I'm still doing. I'm still making videos. I'm still going to be posting content on my channel, on my social pages, no matter what, even if it does take me a bit of a while sometimes for a new upload. So no apologies, just understandings. But I actually am currently working on the next 2 videos that I plan to release after this one. And of course, I appreciate every single follow, every single like, every single really nice, generous comment and really nice, generous message, a new subscriber, everything. I appreciate the support so, so much. But in the meantime, you can catch me on both Twitter and Instagram at these usernames. Be sure to like, be sure to share, and until then, take care.